Yo, 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 peace and blessings. What's going on? Welcome back to the Burnell Washburn podcast. Hope you're having an amazing day. Sending you all my love, all my good vibes. Today's episode is going to be super quick. I just wanted to first come on here and thank everyone in the community for supporting me, whether you've been listening to the music, listening to this podcast, engaging with me on social media. If you're part of the gratitude gang, meaning you're supporting all of the movements via Patreon, and you're even throwing like $5 a month on the Patreon, like thank you so much. Thank you to all the new YouTube subscribers. Thank you to just everyone in my world right now. Like everything I'm doing is starting to thrive more than ever, and I'm just super, super grateful for your guys' support. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to jump on here today, was just to like seriously thank you guys, because I love my life, and sometimes I just think about it, and I'm like, wow, I get to do what I love for a living in multiple ways. Like, I get to carry out all these different passions, and it's all part of the same brand, and I get to share it with such beautiful people. So it means the world to me that you guys are supporting and, like, helping. Every time you guys support, it just helps me do it another day. So, and it helps the work that I'm doing reach more people, too, because a lot of people really are getting value from this. It's not just, you know, my raps and my podcasts aren't just like, look how cool I am. Like, I mean, some of them might be, but for the most part, they're like uplifting, inspiring, spreading good vibes, and enriching people's lives in beautiful ways. And people are messaging me every day saying that they're appreciative of it. So I appreciate that you guys appreciate it, and I appreciate that you are helping the good vibes spread and just engaging in this community and being a part of all this. So it's a blessing. I love you guys. Thank you so much. For real. Today I wanted to talk about a couple things. First of all, I appreciate everyone that was patient with last week not having an episode posted. I just wasn't feeling it, to be honest. Like, I needed some time to recoup. I just spent some time down in Moab in the desert, and we went super hard down there and like missed a night of sleep, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. And not making excuses or anything, but it wasn't like aligned for me to necessarily record the podcast. And I've told you guys this before, but I don't record episodes just to record episodes just because it's Tuesday and I have to have an episode, because I put these random constraints on myself, or like, you know, the schedule, and like I do want to stay accountable to you guys, but part of how I do that is just like only coming at you when I'm like actually inspired to share something and share some good vibes. Otherwise, I mean, I don't want to waste your time. So wasn't feeling it, didn't record an episode, and now here I am randomly recording an episode on a different day, and it's just how it's supposed to be. So also, I dropped a new single called Wasn't It a Woman, a new hip-hop song that is on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff. Check it out. I'll put like a little clip of it at the end of this podcast maybe, and yeah, go stream that. The streams have been blowing up, so I appreciate that as well. And that was kind of like, I don't know, it was cool to just like have almost some anger come out through a song, but not in like a negative way. It came out like I channeled the anger into such a positive thing. So go check out that song, Wasn't It a Woman. And then what else was I going to talk to you about today? Oh yeah, so check this out. Shit's crazy. I was meditating today, and like in the middle of my meditation, I feel like, why am I even meditating? I was having so much fun before I was meditating, and now it's 3:45 right now. Nice. I was having so much fun before I was meditating, jamming out to music and just kind of being creative and moving my body, working out a little bit. But then it was like, oh, I haven't meditated yet, so I gotta go meditate. And I went to go meditate, and then during the meditation, I was like, I don't even know if I even really want to be meditating right now. Like, what's the point of this? Like, why would I leave something that I was enjoying to do something that I'm not enjoying as much, if the whole point of meditation is to like basically enjoy my life more? And like I think meditation means to become familiar with, and it's like learning about myself, and you know, just the whole point of it is not to be in meditation all the time, but it's to kind of like operate better in my day-to-day life. So it's like, if I'm already on such a high vibe, like why even need to meditate? And then the funny thing is, so I got out of it, and I'm just like, all right, fuck it, I'm not even gonna meditate right now. And I just got up, and then I went and put on this like video on YouTube that I was feeling by Gerard Adams, one of his like Leaders Create Leaders episodes. And one of the things that the guy was saying right when I put it on was like how when you're kind of raising your vibration and ascending up to this like next level, you'll have these kind of tendency or these like tests that like present your old ways, or you like present the easy way, and you have to kind of like evade that and choose the higher self thing. You have to kind of like avoid that temptation to take the easy route, or like, like for example, like not meditate or not work out because you're like, why am I, I don't even need to do this. Like, and it's kind of like a lot of people kind of I've heard this too with money. People get dumb with their money when they start getting a lot, because they think they're just making endless amounts. So then they're like spending it on all this shit they don't really need, when they could be saving it or investing it and like really securing the bag, like on a real financial security level. Because they're just like, they stop doing the work that got them there. You know what I mean? It's like you get to a certain level and you're like, oh, I don't even like need to meditate. So then you stop meditating, and then you kind of slip back into your old ways. Or you get in good shape and you get really healthy, and you're like, it doesn't even matter. I can go have some pizza and some whatever right now and work. And obviously there's balance and moderation and everything. But my point is, like, you stop doing the work that got you there, and then you can slip off path easily. So obviously you need a break sometimes from like, you can't be like meditating and working out and doing this shit all day, every day. Like, you need balance in your life. But I've noticed that there is these temptations to like slip back into the easy ways and, not do the good habits, like not take the cold shower, or like just not do the things that I know are really good for me, that have kind of elevated me to the level I'm on. It's 3:48 right now. 48's another one of my lucky numbers. Shout out to Young Teaser. He's probably listening to this episode. Teaser's my best homie. He's a good dude. 48's our little lucky number together. 48 connections. Bless up. But, yeah, I noticed there's these tendencies to, like, not follow through with all my good habits and not do the thing that was getting me there in the first place. And, like, meditation really helped me elevate my vibe, help me transcend through depression and struggle and stress, and kind of step up to a new frequency and just quantum leap onto a whole new level of abundance and prosperity and health, and just on all levels of my life. So I've almost been rebelling against that lately. Like, I'm feeling so good, why even meditate? Like, I don't even really need to work out, or what, just, and it's funny that I like was kind of questioning that, and it felt weird. Like, I couldn't tell if it was right or not. Part of me is like, I feel like I should be doing this stuff, but then part of me is like, yeah, but I shouldn't be so strict on myself, and I shouldn't have like set the bar so high of like all these things I need to do in order to have a good day. Like, I don't need to do EFT tapping and meditating and journaling and working out and quantum healing, hypnosis and sound healing, and like and crystal healing and sound baths, and like all these different things every single day in order to stay high on a high frequency. Like, and obviously I know I need balance with that too. But those are the things that really like work for me. And so the more often that I stay consistent with them, the better my life gets. And when I fall off them, I don't really feel that good about myself. I feel like I'm slipping back into my old ways. Like, for example, like even with like smoking, like I've gotten to a level where I don't really smoke cigarettes anymore. I might have like a drag or two on the weekends or out at a festival or something like that, but I'm not like having them every day, or like I don't like, go out of my way for them or anything anymore. And it's like, it's a cool level that I'm on, where I kind of have like this moderation with it. And also only smoking, like when I do, it'll be like a spliff with like some natural tobacco with no additives or something like that. And that you can judge me for all you want for that, but I feel good about myself for the progress that I've made. So it's like but when I noticed that, I noticed that like I get to this point sometimes where I've been so good for a while, I think, what does it matter? It's 2:00 in the afternoon. Fuck it, I could go have a cig right now. And I almost always resist that temptation, and it feels good. And then I go to bed feeling good about myself, saying, I wanted one and then I didn't have one. That was nice. I wake up feeling better about myself the next day. But every once in a while, I slip up and I cave in and I say, okay, fuck it, I will, and I go have one, or I go, not even, that's just more of like an analogy. It's like, it could be anything that's like my older ways or my lower vibe tendencies. Like maybe I'll just not eat as healthy, or just kind of say fuck it and not take a cold shower, or just not meditate or whatever. I don't feel as good about myself, and I start to slip back into those ways. And it's like I let myself do it once, then I let myself do it twice. Next thing I know, I've gone 3 days or 4 days slipping into some of the lower habits, and I don't feel as good about myself. And it starts to really hurt my confidence. And then I don't feel like I don't want to come on the podcast and share anything. I don't want to make YouTube videos. I don't want to go on stage. I don't want to do anything as much as like have to like get align my frequency back to the right vibe. And it's okay. I can't expect myself to be like perfect all the time. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna be perfect. And as long as I keep evolving and trying, and as long as I'm overall making progress, it's totally okay to have some off days here and there. It's totally okay to have an off week. It's totally okay to slip off track for a little while, as long as you just observe it, notice it, then you get yourself back on path. So I've noticed that when I'm having these lower vibe kind of moments, I don't want to do the things that I know are going to help me the most, but that's when I need them the most. That's when I really should meditate the deepest. That's when I really should crush that workout, or that's when I really should fast, or just go like super healthy on my diet. But it's, it's the tendency is to go the opposite when you're not feeling as energetic. It's kind of easy to stick through with the good habits when you're like feeling just totally amazing, and you've slept amazing, and you've eaten amazing, for the last 2 weeks straight, and you've been just crushing it on all levels. You feel good about yourself, and you want to keep up that momentum. You have this kind of momentum built up, and you don't want to do any low vibe things, because it just like, and when I say low vibe things, I mean anything. It's different for all of us. It's not what I consider low vibe. It's like whatever you consider low vibe for yourself. Like you have certain habits and tendencies that's kind of your higher self, and you have certain habits and tendencies that are it's kind of your lower self, and we all do, and we know which ones feel good. Ooh, I just saw 7777 on the back of my protein bar. That's lit. I knew it. It's a good day. Is it still recording? Check. Yes, okay. Getting all stoked on everything today. But I noticed that like I'll slip into these low vibes, and that's when I need that's when I need the good habits the most, and that's when I don't want to do them, and trying to force myself to do them also causes resistance and causes some stress and tension. So I just gotta ride it out. I've noticed I just ride it out for a day or two, and like I get back onto the right frequency, and I just slowly, I do one thing that's good for myself, and that gives me some momentum. It makes me want to do something else that's good for myself, and then something else, and then eventually it snowballs to where I'm living a whole day, and then a whole week, and then maybe even a whole month, where I'm just like feeling really good about myself and all my good habits I'm doing the fasting and the cold showers and the eating healthy and the working out and the meditating and the making my videos and the writing new songs and the making dope beats and keeping up with my customer service and connecting with people and like really doing well for my coaching clients, and like feel so good about myself when I'm kind of on that like winning streak. And it only takes one positive thing to put me back towards that winning streak. So if I'm feeling absolutely at my lowest, all I gotta do is one positive thing. Maybe it's okay, I'm gonna meditate for 5 minutes. And when you're way stressed out, it's like you don't even want to meditate for 5 minutes, or when you're kind of feeling like having a fuck it day, but you just start with one thing that you know is good for you. Don't beat yourself up and judge yourself because you cause more pain and resistance by all that, by like you're feeling down, and then you're mad at yourself for feeling down, and you're like mad at yourself for not being on this super high vibe. And it's like, it's okay. Just forgive yourself, and then start to focus on one thing that you could do to better it. And then, ouch, I fucking bang my elbow on my desk. That's my funny bone. It was kind of funny. Fuck, not that funny. But anyway, you just focus on one good thing, you do that, then you want to do something else that's good, and something else that's good, and then within a day or two, you're kind of back on this like winning streak where you're just building up this positive momentum in life, and you start to feel really good about yourself. Because I don't know about you, but for me, like, I could go like 3 days, I could go like 2 days where I'm just crushing it, and I start to feel like a beast. I feel like I'm just like, not like I'm better than anyone, but I feel like I'm fucking just like the dopest person ever. I'm just like, yes, I'm feeling myself. I'm stoked on life. All I want to do is give and serve. When I feel good about myself, when my glass is like full and it's actually overflowing, all I want to do is serve and spread as much positive energy as possible. And then when I'm not feeling good about myself, that's when like I don't really feel like, my cup's empty. I don't really have anything to serve and give from, and I don't feel that good about myself. So yeah, momentum is real. Like, I could go 2 days where I'm falling off my good habits and not doing, I'm not staying consistent with the high vibrations, and I'm not necessarily operating from my highest self. And I start to feel like shit about myself real quick, and I overthink life and think I'm on a bad path, and I start questioning everything, and just, it's crazy. It doesn't take that long for me to like almost mentally think I'm spiraling down. And the beautiful part about that is it doesn't take long for me to think I'm just like stepping into heaven on earth either. Like, I have like 2 really good days, and I just think, holy shit, I'm about to be so successful. Holy shit, like, wow, like everything in my life is just about to pop off. Like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? So the momentum's real, and that's why it's really, really beneficial to keep a success log. I've talked about this several times on the podcast and my YouTube channel, like tracking your wins. Whatever we monitor, whatever we track, we end up like seeing more improved results in. So we just, and like we're like children in the sense that, and not even just children, just human beings in general, like want to do more of what we get rewarded for. So if we reward ourselves for the good behavior that we're doing, even just by acknowledging ourselves, we don't necessarily have to give ourselves like a physical reward every time, but like there's a psychological, like chemical, dopamine and serotonin reward that you get when you acknowledge something good that you did. You write it down in your journal, and you write a success log of like, look at, here's 5 things I did today that are awesome, or like things I did this week or this month or this year or this decade or whatever to push my life forward, or to add value to society, or to help others, or do good for people I love. Like, you develop a more positive picture of yourself. You feel more empowered. You remember how powerful you are. You remember all the progress you're making instead of focusing on your shortcomings, because we get focused, or we get programmed at a very young age to focus on our flaws. And it's, a lot of it comes from our parents wanting what's best for us. So we have to forgive them for that. But it's like our parents want us to be the best versions of ourselves. So they're constantly, and it's kind of their job. Their job is not to just make us feel good 100% of the time necessarily. It might be to like challenge us, and, they're, at least when I was growing up, my parents were constantly pointing out ways that I was messing up, or, making sure that it was very well known if I did something wrong, or like if I even spelled something wrong or spoke with incorrect grammar, or I don't even speak with proper grammar anymore because I'm a fucking rapper and language is arbitrary, but they instilled a sense of me focusing on my flaws rather than my strengths, and like focusing on things I needed to improve on, which is good and it's really helpful, and you need people in your life to reflect that. But if we're not careful, we could grow up and we just like stay trapped in this mindset where all we think about, like, hopefully, my parents also had a balance. At least like my dad would point out more of my flaws, and my mom would point out more of my like good things. She would point out the bad things too, but she would also point out the good things. So hopefully there's a balance there of like acknowledging, yourself for the good things you do. But if you're not careful, you could just get stuck where you're only thinking about how you're making mistakes, and you're only thinking about your flaws and your shadows and, all that, rather than like focusing on your beauty and how like magnificent you really are. So that's why keeping a success log is helpful, because when you feel like you're rewarded for doing good behavior, you want to do more of it. When you get that little like dopamine rush of like, hey, yeah, actually, I have been doing a lot of good things this year, this month, or whatever. Like, you want to go do 10 more good things to add to that list, and you want to keep adding to that list because you're getting that positive reinforcement. It's like one of the pretty much most commonly known psychology principles is just positive reinforcement. You tell a kid that you acknowledge them more for them being good, and they'll be good. If you only never give them attention unless they do something bad, they start acting out. They start doing more bad things because that's the only time they get attention. And like human beings will do almost anything for attention, even if it's negative attention. You know what I mean? So, um, it's just important to give yourself attention for the positive and write it down. Pat yourself on the back. You know what I mean? And then there's also a time and place to like be real with yourself and look at yourself and see where you're fucking up and what you need to improve on. But that's only done from a loving heart. It's only really like effectively done from a loving heart with full unconditional love, no judgment, full compassion, and like first acknowledging yourself for the good things, and then you can like maybe look at some of the things that need some work, but you can look at them through some loving eyes rather than like beating yourself up about it. So that's keeping a success log is really important. It really helps me out when I'm having kind of off days. And I guess the reason I'm talking about all this is because this whole week, it's Saturday right now, and like I'd say Monday through Friday was just not the highest vibes I've had in a while. Although I still did some awesome things. I've still made some super dope beats, wrote a couple dope songs, and um, I did some good stuff. And I was a good dad to my daughter all week. But like overall, I just didn't feel like the best version of myself, and it's okay. I started beating myself up for it for a minute and overthinking everything, and then I just got back to remembering like it's all part of the evolution. It's all part of the growth. I'm not supposed to be on this super high, amazing vibe 24/7. It's not what it's about. I like the contrast. I like the highs and lows. I like the different, I just like the different emotions that life presents and that I get to experience. So it's beautiful to look at it from like a more neutral perspective and just observe it. And then it was really powerful to hear homie on this video today say, when you're like resisting those high vibe things is when you need them the most, and when you like stop doing the work that got you there, that's when you start like downgrading. Like when you stop growing, you start dying. When you stop up leveling, you start down leveling. When you stop ascending, you start descending. Like there's not really much of like a neutral chill ground, unfortunately, in a lot of areas. So like it's you're either kind of like improving or you're not, you're going backwards. So, and sometimes like just not improving is worse than going backwards. So I feel like you need these off times to remember of like why it feels good to do the good things, like why, oh yeah, this is why meditation's important. Oh yeah, this is why I've been eating so healthy, because I feel like shit when I don't. Or this is why I've been really valuing the importance of sleep, because when I don't sleep, this is what happens. Or, like it's important to get those little reminders. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. And then another thing, like today's just like, I don't know, it's an interesting story. I was just about to leave to go on a walk because I needed to hit the ATM and grab some money for rent. And like randomly right before I left, I got an intuitive nudge to sit down and do a meditation. And I just searched quantum meditation on YouTube, and I went to a random one, and it was one of the most beautiful meditations I've done in a long time. I'm gonna put it in the show notes, and it was like really interesting. It was kind of it was almost like a mix between like a hypnosis and a guided meditation and just like some suggestions and I don't know, like she would just give you some prompts and like say some certain things to make you think a certain way or feel a certain way, and then there would just be music for like 45 seconds and to a minute or two, and you just be kind of drifting in and out of consciousness and I don't know, like getting kind of lucid, and then she'd say something else, and then it would drift back into the music for a minute, and it was kind of in and out like that. And I think you guys will really like it, but it really brought me back into my power, and I was just sending so much love and light across this whole universe, and like remembering how like powerful I was and how I'm the creator of my own reality, and rather than like viewing myself as a victim or like there's anything wrong with me, just feel like realizing I'm whole, I'm perfect, I'm powerful, like I am part of God. I am like, we are all one. We are all like the creator, the creative force of the universe, and like there's just infinite possibilities and blessings and magic all around me. And I started really noticing the flowers and the birds, and the color of the sky is just the best blue I've ever seen, and like the green on the leaves of the trees is like just the most loving green I've ever looked at. And like the sun that's shining is just the warmest, and it's, I don't know, it's just the perfect I just started like getting on this frequency where my mind went to beautiful places. I started focusing on all the beautiful aspects of life rather than my problems, because before I kind of did this meditation, I was on a good vibe, but I was still drifting in and out of focus on, I'd be like feeling really positive, and then I'd think maybe a somewhat negative thought, and kind of drift into like some worry or some fear for a minute, and then I'd drift back into the good vibe, and then drift back into some worry or fear, and then drift back into the good vibe. And then like after that, I did this meditation, it was like, no, the good vibe is so solid now, is here to stay, and now I'm actually like filled up and ready to go serve, and now I could actually record a podcast and have some value to provide that's going to inspire and uplift and like really be felt on a heart level. So I did this meditation thing. I felt amazing, and I started just really feeling like more inspired to give and serve than I have all week. And then I was really just aware that like, wow, there's just in every second in life, and I've been aware of this for years, but it's always, I could be reminded of this like every day. Like there could be, someone should just remind me of this every 5 minutes. In any given moment, we have a choice of what we're focusing on. Literally every moment is a new choice of what to focus on. And we can focus on things that make us feel good or things that make us feel bad. And when we focus on things that make us feel bad, we see more things that make us feel bad. And when we focus on things that make us feel good, we see and experience more things that make us feel good, because energy attracts like energy. It doesn't mean, I used to think like attract like meant like, I don't know, I didn't fully understand it, but it just means that like similar frequencies are attracted to similar frequencies that are in harmony with each other. So it's like you're feeling good, you're gonna feel more good. I know more good's not a word. You're gonna feel better, and if you're feeling bad, you're gonna feel worse. You know. And it doesn't mean you should never feel bad or worse. When I first started learning this and understanding it, I thought, oh shit, I'm the creator of my reality, and my emotions and my feelings are creating reality, so I have to just feel amazing 24/7 in order to create a life that I like. And then I started embracing like, no, I actually, like sadness, anger, all the different spectrums of emotions can actually fit into this beautiful life. And it's kind of profound when you start to realize that, of like, hey, it's not about, yes, as long I'm consciously aware that I'm creating my own reality, and whenever I observe that and remember that, I can, whenever I really remember that power, then it's really easy to just like switch my focus to something that feels good, because I'm just like, holy shit, this whole thing is an illusion anyway, and like I'm just creating this whole entire experience is all just happening inside of me and my perception. And in any given moment in the universe, there's like infinite amounts of neutral energy that I could either perceive as good or bad, and like, you know, how depending on how I choose to perceive them is how they'll be. And it's just wild. Like you start to remember that it's really easy to choose a beautiful frequency. It's easy to choose a focus that feels good and thus attract more things that feel good. But yeah, I just fully remembered that, so I wanted to share that with you guys today. And then I went on this little walk, and it was crazy. I saw this like, actually, I'm gonna tell you this story another time, because my homie just barely pulled up, and we are about to have a kick it session, and we might go on a hike. and do some dope shit and get some food and stuff. So I'm like stoked to hang out with him. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I love you. Thank you for supporting. Thanks for listening. Today was kind of like a rant, but I feel like I said some cool stuff that if you got any value from it, make sure to share this. Make sure to send this out to at least one person that you love. Join the Patreon, the Gratitude Gang. Even if you throw $5 a month, that's super helpful. Come on in, sir, if it's unlocked. Hold on one second.
What's up, my man? How are you?
Yeah, I'm still in the middle of recording. I'm just wrapping up this episode. So let me just finish wrapping it up. Now these people just saw a genuine experience of a homie, and not saw, but my listeners are hearing a genuine, one of my best friends rolling up onto my crib.
What up?
What up, Uncle Keegs? Straight triple OG. But anyway, I love you guys. I really appreciate you listening. Make sure to share this. Join the Gratitude Gang. Throw like $5 on the Patreon if you can, if you want to, if you're getting value from it. That helps the message spread. It helps the positive energy inspire and uplift more people and spread more good vibes in the world. So, yeah, if you feel called to do that, definitely check out the patreon.com/Burnell Washburn. I'll put a link to that in the show notes along with that guided meditation I was talking about. And I will see you guys soon on another episode. As always, feel free to hit me up on IG at Burnell Washburn if you have any questions or just need someone to talk to. Like, we're all in this together, just growing and ascending, and it's beautiful to have this tribe to push this message of good vibes, really, and empowering, uplifting stuff that's just going to help improve more people's lives. So I really appreciate you guys engaging with this community, and I just feel blessed to have your support. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Bless.